Hi everyone, welcome to Curated by Becta's Meal Kit number 84 for January 19th to the 22nd. Thank you very much for ordering this week, and thanks for letting us be a part of your special celebration at home, even during lockdown. We've got a really great and very interesting menu for you tonight. Pork belly lettuce wraps, spicy, beautiful, and if you haven't before, if fish is a little intimidating, we're going to show you how to cook a great piece of fish. So why don't we go ahead and get started? The first thing I'm going to do, I've got our parsnip puree, our lentils, and our sous vide already in pots. I know it's a little intimidating that there's 6 pots and pans tonight, but I promise it is going to be worth the extra dishes. So first thing we're going to do is the appetizer, and we're going to get rolling with our pork belly. Let's see what Chef Rich says. Medium-high heat. And in this case, it says non-stick pan, but I'm going to use a cast iron pan. And my pork belly is going to look a little different than yours because I record this on a Tuesday night, so we have to rush the 3-day process a little bit for my pork belly. And so I'm going to have 2 small strips per lettuce wrap, and you're going to get 1 large strip per lettuce wrap, which is going to be even better than mine. So medium-high heat, and we're going to take your pork belly, and in your case, again, you're going to get 3 nice fat pieces per person, but in my case I've got 6 little pieces per person, and we're going to put it in the pan. You shouldn't need any oil at all because there's a lot of fat in the pork belly. And again, it's a 3-day process, so we cure it, then we confit it, and then we press it, and then voila, it is delicious. So let me get rid of that. And while that is warming up, I am going to get my sauces on. So nice and low. So this is my pickled garlic scape sous vide, which is an onion cream sauce, and it's just going to be amazing. So I've got my lentils going on. Let me give it a little stir, and I've got 1 tablespoon per person of unsalted butter in with the lentils. And then I turned that off by mistake. I'm still alerting my stovetop. And I'm going to get my parsnip puree going on, and I believe it's on medium heat, on low, excuse me. And we're going to keep stirring that. So everything gets a little bit of a stir. And as soon as the pork belly is done, then we're going to work on the fish. So 3 minutes each side for the pork belly. So while that's finishing, let's have some Gruner Veltliner. This is one of my all-time favorite wines. When I was buying wine for the restaurants, I still influence it, but when I was the only guy buying it, I put this on the list a lot at Becta and Play before Gazelle was even open. And a Gruner Veltliner from Rabel. And it's just gorgeous. Bright, vibrant acidity, lots of tropical fruit. Just really great. Okay, so my pork belly is now being turned over. You want to get a nice little crispiness on it, and you don't want it on super high heat, so then it'll just splatter all over the place. And it's going to be easier for you guys than with me, because you've got nice big fat pieces, where I've got these little skinny pieces, because we had to confit them in shorter time for my kid on Tuesday night. And also, just, let me be honest. One of our main chefs today had to run to get her child from daycare because one of the daycare provider, her son had a fever. And so it's like, oh, okay, let's make sure everyone's safe. So suddenly we had to scramble a little bit in order to be able to get everything done. And the pork belly is one of those things. Okay, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. So lettuce wraps, we've got, I want to try to see if I can pronounce it properly, gongchang, which is a spicy chili paste. If you don't like it spicy, don't put this on it. It's okay. You can substitute some mayonnaise, which is also delicious on lettuce wraps. Then we've got radish, cilantro, cashews, and then a squeeze of lemon. Now, let me give everything a little stir here. Looking good. My lentils looking nice. And then my sous vide Looking good. Sous vide on very low, so it won't take much to warm that guy up. Okay, so this guy is basically done. So let's build the lettuce wraps, shall we? Bring that over on my cutting board. And I'm going to warm up this pan for our trout. And 2 tablespoons of neutral oil. In my case, I'm using grapeseed oil, but you can use canola oil or vegetable oil. There we go. Let's get that going on for medium. So, pork belly. I tried to make one extra pretty. Make it look close to what yours, guys, is going to look like. So you should have 3 lettuce cups per person. And just want to build it with all this delicious stuff. Yeah, you don't want to render too much of the fat out because the fat makes it extra delicious. Okay, let's make sure I don't burn my hand. Now I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing for my trout while I'm getting this ready. Trout, skin side down, 2 tablespoons of neutral oil per person. Cook for 4 minutes and then drain off the oil. So skin side down. We're going to season it up at the end because this is already in a brine. So you don't need to hit it with a lot of salt and pepper. We brine it in order to keep it really fresh. Okay, so while that's going for 4 minutes, I'm going to maybe put a little less of the spicy stuff on my son's one. Usually I'm cooking for both my wife and my son, but my wife is out with her best friend for her birthday. Well, not out. We're all in lockdown, but going over to her place for dinner. Just a little intimate gathering. That stuff's got a little bit of heat. I'm going to let my son put on his own spicy stuff. We also have this awesome mayonnaise from Japan, which is terrific. And next, so you know what? I'm just going to do that for him. Whoops. I love how you get to see me do all this stuff. Where's my special QP mayo? Huh. We have another really good mayo is what it calls. So I'm just going to do this for my son who doesn't like spicy stuff too much. Feel free to substitute as you need. Next up is the radish. You can spread it out. Two radishes per person should do it. Or 2 radishes per lettuce cup, I mean. Cilantro is up next. And just a leaf or 2. Kind of delicate stuff here. And while I'm doing that, I realize that I need to get my kale and mushrooms going on. So 1 tablespoon per person of neutral oil. Again, in my case, grapeseed oil. Then we've got our lovely cashews. Don't feel like you have to use all of this if you don't want. This is personal preference. My son does like cashews. He actually eats them by the kilogram right now. 16 years old, working out a lot at the gym lately, and so super protein concentrated. So maybe he can get a few extras. And then finally we got a little squeeze of lime for some fresh acidity. And you can put that on the plate for some decoration. Why not? Oh yeah, decoration. There we are. Our lovely spicy pork belly wraps with cashew, radish, cilantro, fresh lime, and I'm going to hopefully pronounce this properly, gongjang. Gongyujang. Anyway, delicious. I've had this before and it's really nice. Okay, so let me get my mushrooms going on in this pan. Check the heat just a touch. I think it's 4 minutes for the oyster mushrooms. Just make sure you don't grab some kale with it. Get all the mushrooms in there. Very nice. Okay. So pan's here, 4 minutes, drain off oil and add 1 tablespoon of butter per person. I'll turn this down just a notch. I get a little stainless steel bowl here. Maybe I overdid the oil just a touch. Oil is drained. 2 pieces of fish, 2 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter is melted, remove from heat and spoon butter over trout for 30 seconds. That is going to finish very quickly. Let me make sure my other things are going on well here. Give it a little stir. Parsnip puree is looking good. Lentils are looking good. Mushrooms also looking good. Sous vide looking a little warm, so I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. So that is, the heat is now off, and we're going to take this butter and we're going to baste it. So just tilting the skillet down and grabbing a spoon and giving a little basting. And once butter is melted, remove from heat, spoon butter over trout for 30 seconds, flip trout over and allow to cook for an additional 2 minutes in the warm pan, but the heat is off. Gorgeous looking fish. Yes. Okay, my mushrooms have got a nice little brown going on. After 4 minutes, turn the pan to medium heat. Add kale and saute for 2 more minutes. Oh, and don't forget the butter. 1 tablespoon of butter per person. Let that melt down. Yeah, and actually I was supposed to saute the kale for 2 minutes before the butter went in, but don't tell my chef, okay? I'm sure it's going to be just fine. A little extra butter on there is not a problem. Lentils a little stir. Parsnip puree, which is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. By the way, we have no red wine for you tonight. We have this beautiful rosé. Put it in a nice red wine glass, a burgundy glass like this. This is the Rosé de Montrose from Domaine Montrose, southern France. Organic producer, beautiful, vibrant fruits. I am a big fan of this wine. It's going to be great with the trout. Okay, let's not forget to hit things with salt and pepper, shall we? The thing you need to do is season the lentils and also the mushrooms and kale. And we're going to do a little bit on the fish as well. Not too much on the salt with the fish, and everything else should be seasoned beautifully. And while this is doing my last little bit, let me plate up dessert. I'm glad the dessert didn't fall down because it's so pretty tonight. So we've got candied lemon in this little ramekin, and we've got a Haskap berry and lemon tart. And all you're doing is putting the candied lemon over top and on the side. Beautiful garnish. Really nice. How can you go wrong? There is your gorgeous dessert, and very easy. And this is to make up for the extra pans that you might have to wash tonight. All right, let's plate this guy up. So center of the plate, dollop parsnip puree. Half and half. Get all that good stuff. I'm going to put a little more on my plate because my son likes parsnips a little less than I do. I'm a huge fan. And spread it around so you can see it on the edges as well. You want to play with some art. Lovely. And then next up, it says use a slotted spoon. Well, not everyone has a slotted spoon, and I don't actually, or at least a non-stick one. So the lentils are going to go with a regular spoon. I'll see how my 16-year-old likes his lentils. He actually kind of does. And with a little bit of butter and salt and pepper, how could you not? And they're actually excellent protein. So that's how I'm selling them on it. And one runaway lentil there. And the good news is about 16-year-olds is that they can do some dishes as well. Lentils in the pile in the center of the puree, topped with mushrooms and kale. Let's do it. I'm going to get a non-stick pan spatula or tongs here. Lovely. He likes the kale very much. He's devouring like a mountain of kale every day with kale Caesar salads, keeping him healthy. All right. And then finally, well, not finally, actually, we've got two more things. So the fish is going to go on. It is one nice looking piece of fish. And hopefully you can use this with the rest. And if you've got a little butter and you want to drop it on there, that is not a bad thing at all. My cat is smelling this and wanting some, I think. And now, finally, we've got the sous vide. One more spoon. Give a little stir. Drizzle sous vide around the plate. Now, the chef is not one for putting sauce on proteins. He prefers to put it around and have you dip it in, so to speak, so you can control how much, and also it looks better for the camera, apparently. That is a good looking fish. Our lovely Ontario rainbow trout with the onion sous vide, braised lentils, sauteed kale and mushrooms, and of course the parsnip puree. Thank you again for ordering this week and for all the amazing support. While we're in lockdown, I hope you love your meal, your experience, and I really hope that we get to cook and curate for you again really soon.